So the other day, someone left a comment on one of my videos saying that Left 4 Dead 2 needs a remaster, and it got me thinking. I don't think it does. Despite releasing in 2009, the game holds up surprisingly well, and today I aim to demonstrate just how well it is aged. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 27 Easter eggs, secrets, and hidden details in Left 4 Dead 2. Now, just to be clear, I'm far from a Left 4 Dead expert. I'm just a fan of good games and Easter eggs, so if you think I've missed anything, then let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin with Left 4 Dead 2's first campaign. That being Dead Center. Now, something that Left 4 Dead 2 does really well is tell a story during its gameplay. There aren't any cutscenes that interrupt the zombie killing. Instead, if you listen closely, you can learn a lot about the world and the people in it through dialogue. For example, when the game begins, the survivors don't know each other. So if you try speaking to one of them, your character won't know their name.
Hey, Sue. Excuse me, sweetie. Young. Sir. Girl?
Later on in the same level, when the group are in the elevator, they will introduce themselves. And at the start of the next chapter, if you try and speak to one of them, your character will now know their name.
Rochelle. Ellis.
Alice.
Coach.
To me, this is such a cool detail that goes a long way in explaining the relationships between these characters. Now, in a zombie apocalypse, there are always going to be casualties. I mean, there wouldn't be zombies if no one died. Well, if one of your crew dies before they make it to the elevator and have the opportunity to introduce themselves, the survivors will still talk about them as seen here.
Did anyone catch the name of the dead guy?
I think it was Coach. Don't matter now. And then there were three. Name's Nick. Hey, what's your name?
People just call me Coach.
Ellis. My name's Alice.
Who'd we lose?
I think she said it was Rochelle.
Also, I don't know if this is a glitch, but if it's just Nick and Ellis left alive, Nick will ignore Ellis when in the elevator, which is pretty on brand for Nick.
We gotta watch each other's back. My name's Alice, you?
The survivors' lack of zombie apocalypse know-how also extends to the zombies themselves. Well, these special infected in particular. Again, in the hotel section of Dead Center, when the group first see a splitter, they will call it this.
Green thing!
However, when entering the streets, they will say this.
They've been calling those things spitters.
That is one ugly ass.
Another example of this is the jockey. When first encountering this little guy, they say this.
Little guy!
But later on, the group decide on a more fitting name.
Hey, do we need to hit him in the head?
This happens for every special infected in the game, and I personally think it's brilliant. Now, something else that I noticed during the game's first chapter are Rochelle's bracelets. So when reaching for a weapon, the bracelets will slide down her wrists, and when firing a shotgun, they will move back and forth with each shot. It's a small detail, but I think it's cool. Now, the people in charge of cleaning up the zombie infection are Cedar, who are doing a brilliant job. Something that you might not have noticed though was Cedar's motto, which is Disease Emergency Assessment Dispatch. And if you take the first letter of each of those words, it spells out dead, which is very fitting. Now, this next detail is one of the more confusing finds in this video. During the mall section of Dead Center, you can find several mannequins. Well, if you hit one of these mannequins with a melee weapon, something strange will happen. So for some reason, your character will laugh, and I don't know why. It seems that this only happens once per level, and you need to use a melee weapon or the shove to hear the laugh. Like I said, I'm not sure why this is a thing. So the final Dead Center detail is perhaps the rarest zombie in all of video games. When entering the atrium, the group see a poster of Jimmy Gibbs Jr.
Anybody know who the race car guy is?
Just the best stock car racer of all time. Try reading a book sometime.
Jimmy Gibbs Jr. Man, Southerners make the weirdest people famous.
That man is an American hero. I would take a bullet for that man.
Amen.
So Jimmy is a local legend, and you even need to refuel his car to make your escape, though there is no sign of the man himself. Well, that's because Jimmy is extremely rare. You see, Mr. Gibbs Jr. will only spawn every 15 real-world days, and even then he only has a 33% chance to appear. So this means that to see Jimmy in your game, you need to be playing on the correct day, which is only twice a month, and then play the finale of Dead Center, and then hope that he spawns. Now, of course, you could just use console commands to spawn Jimmy, but where's the fun in that? So I waited for the correct day and repeatedly loaded up the atrium level until he finally appeared.
Still need 5 more.
Damn you, Jimmy.
So Jimmy can take some serious punishment, which makes him being so rare probably a good thing. Now, I did use console commands to spawn a copy of Jimmy in the safe room so I could get a better look, and it's safe to say he has definitely seen better days. Okay, so that does it for the Dead Center campaign. Let's move on to the passing. Now, the first Easter egg from the passing is perhaps one of the most well-known Easter eggs in the entire game. During the underground part of the campaign, there is a chance that you can see this.
I must be dreaming.
So in a blink and you'll miss it moment, a tour bus barrels past. This bus is the tour bus of Midnight Riders, and in Universe Rock Band, that seems to be getting the hell out of Dodge. Also, in the same area, you can find several pieces of graffiti that reference games and movies. First up, Ed is King of the Zombies is a reference to the zombified version of Ed in Shaun of the Dead. This message is a reference to the 2004 Dawn of the Dead film where a woman named Nicole went to rescue her dog. This message is a reference to Dead Rising and its photo-taking star Frank West. This one is a nod to Crazy Dave from the Plants vs. Zombies games, and finally this message is a reference to the brilliant zombie movie 28 Days Later. Now, back when I first started making videos, I remember spending ages trying to record this next Easter egg, but I don't know if it was luck or if it has just been made more common, but if you interact with the jukebox, there is a chance that the Still Alive song from Portal will play.
Reloading!
Reloading.
Right, next up is the Dark Carnival campaign. Now, given that this campaign takes place at a carnival, there are of course zombie clowns, which are as terrifying as they sound. Well, if you want a way to ease your clown zombie fears, you could try giving them a whack on the nose, which will cause this to happen. So meleeing a clown zombie will cause their nose to honk, which is brilliant. Oh, and if you pay close attention to one of these zombies, you can see that the flower they have pinned to their chest will occasionally squirt water. Now, this next detail is perhaps my favourite detail in the entire game. During your walk through the carnival, you can find a test of strength. Let's give it a go whilst at full health. So at full health, we easily ring the bell. Let's see what happens when we take a swing whilst at low health.
Little peanut, so weak. Little peanut, so weak. Little peanut.
Well, that's embarrassing. The only way to restore our pride is to take a shot of adrenaline and give it another go. So with adrenaline coursing through our character's body, he breaks the test of strength. Who's the little peanut now? The final cool detail in the Dark Carnival campaign can be found at the finale. On the stage is a microphone, and if your character speaks into the mic, it will actually work.
All right, thanks. Ha ha! Yes, we got that done. Oh, hell yeah!
Now, this next quote-unquote Easter egg is debatable, so I'd love to know what you think. During the first chapter of Swamp Fever, you can find a charger who has somehow found himself in a very strange situation. A lot of people believe that the way the charger is posed is a reference to the Lambada logo, which is of course the Half-Life logo. Like I said, this one is debatable, so be sure to let me know what you think. Up next is the Hard Rain campaign, which is home to a very clever detail. The uncommon infected in this campaign are the worker infected. Upon closer inspection, you may also notice that these zombies are wearing ear protectors, and in some games that wouldn't affect gameplay. But in Left 4 Dead 2, those ear protectors actually work. Here, let me throw this pipe bomb and pay close attention to the worker infected.
Fire in the hole!
So almost all of the zombies chased after the pipe bomb, but the worker infected didn't because they couldn't hear the beeping. It's a really cool detail. So the final campaign we'll be taking a look at today is The Last Stand. This campaign is a community-made remake of a Left 4 Dead 1 survival mission that was officially added to the game by Valve as part of 2020's Last Stand update. The first detail found in this campaign can be seen pretty much right at the beginning. Given that the world as we know it is pretty much gone, you can find stomped out fires left by other survivors, who were burning money to keep warm. This next Easter egg is one for the more patient among you. What you need to do is swing at this door with a melee weapon 50 times, and eventually you'll be rewarded with this.
Reloading!
So inside the room we can find the map's developer who died hard at work, along with the names of several people who I'm assuming also worked on the map. Clicking on the keyboard will grant you the golden crowbar, which is a collectible in the main game. Right, the final Easter egg in The Last Stand is probably not even an Easter egg. In this burning house, you can find this.
Look out! We've got a boomer around here!
So, a lady zombie in a fridge. I mean, for what it's worth, this is the only fridge that I found in The Last Stand that opens, so perhaps there is more to this than meets the eye. Actually, there is one more thing I wanted to share. I purposely left out Left 4 Dead 1 maps in this video, but this poster that references the orange box that was released by Valve is close to my heart. When I was 17, my girlfriend at the time told me that she was leaving me and that she had found someone else. Of course, being 17, I thought the world had ended. A few friends came over and tried to cheer me up, and I had the idea of calling the local game store to see what games are coming out that week. And the person on the other end of the phone said that Orange Box was coming out, and I immediately felt better. It sounds really sad saying that out loud, but when you're going through something like heartbreak, all you want is for something to take your mind off it. And what better distraction is there than a collection like the Orange Box? So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then a like is really appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.